almost all of my pieces have natural materials gathered locally from where I live. I also work three-dimensionally. I make what I guess I call baskets. I like to think that I'm connected to the very first people who made things. You know, if you think back to the hunter-gatherers, they needed something to put the berries in that they were gathering, and so they probably made little baskets out of sticks like I use, and so I like to think that connection across history and time with the very first makers is unique. I made a conscious decision that I would try to work primarily with things that came from my farm where I live or my family's farm where I grew up. I hope that the pieces in this exhibition would really resonate with kind of the memory of what is unique about that place. And I think it has a quiet beauty about it that I'm hoping through my constructions will get people to appreciate it even more. There's a phrase that I like to recall that Frank Lloyd Wright used about materials in his architecture. He said that he thought all natural materials had an inherent sacredness about them. And when I read that, it really struck a chord with me because I feel the same way. And so what I try to do in my structures is respect the integrity of material while still getting it to do what I want it to do, but somehow resonate with sort of a sacredness that will kind of reach out and touch the people that are looking at the pieces. And I think in many cases it does. Every piece I do has several components going in it. One, I like to give myself a technical challenge. I always try to do something different with the way I put materials together. Two, I'm always exploring some material, trying to push it in a new direction if I can. And then three, I always like to make sure that there's something conceptual being addressed as well. This piece is for my dad and about my dad, and this was made out of materials gleaned from a building on my parents' farm that was struck by lightning about 5 o'clock in the morning, and it burned to the ground. When the building burnt down, I went out and gathered some things from it, like this is a piece of burned 2x4, and these are the nails that were actually in the building, and some old wrenches and things that I got from the farm. And so when he died, I decided that I wanted to do a special piece for him. This is a site-specific installation, and it really exemplifies what this show is about. I call the installation About Place because it is made up of all sorts of random, natural, and found materials, many of which I encountered by chance, a few of which I sought out, but for the most part, it's just things that I've come across and collected in the last few years. It celebrates what I think is the beauty of the rural place where I live. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to show here at South Suburban. I hadn't been here before, and it's a really nice college, beautiful facilities, and I was so delighted when I got here and saw the actual physical space because I think it's a very, very pleasing, kind of intimate space, but beautifully lit. So I'm very happy to have my work in this lovely venue. I have been doing a lot of journaling and soul searching and really thinking about where do I want to go next from here. I know I'm still going to be using natural materials. I know I'm still going to be using found materials. I can't stop the attraction to it, but I'm hoping to pursue some other conceptual directions. You know, being an older woman, kind of moving into that really last exciting phase of my life, I have lots of things to reflect on and think about. I have a feeling that it's going to be very much looking deeper within myself and just doing pieces that focus more on where I am as a person in my life.